Le'Veon Bell rang the bell and gave the win to the Steelers. Unbelievable. The Cavs, yet again, on the road as a home game. And I'm still pissed about the Jackets. I'm still pissed about the Jackets. One thing's for certain. I love you guys, and welcome into this Tuesday edition of All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, the production of ClayFan2. I am your host, Andy Alfred, welcoming you into the Man Cave Studios, and welcoming you into this Monday edition of All Andy Alfred. Got a lot to get into today, of course, recapping the MLB playoffs. We got a couple games going on today, and we had a couple games wrapping up last night as we were on the air. And, well, we'll talk a little bit about the NBA as well, too. Hear my preview coming up in next week's edition of All Andy Alfred, as we will have the special preview edition of the NBA NBA season. Also have a story to share with you about the Blue Jackets as well, too, and Toledo Walleye news. But first and foremost, let's talk what happened last night in San Diego as the San Diego Chargers took on the Pittsburgh Steelers without Ben Roethlisberger, but the dog fighter in Michael Vick. Last night, the Pittsburgh Steelers getting a win in Qualcomm Stadium. The Lions couldn't get a win. The Browns couldn't get a win. So the Steelers had to do the job. Of course, the Steelers getting a 24-20 victory over the San Diego Chargers in this game. Looking at some stats for this game, Michael Vick, 13 for 26, 203 yards, 1 TD. Le'Veon Bell, the game winner, 21 carries for 111 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry for 1 TD. Matt Wheaton, 1 reception, 72 yards. That was a touchdown return for him, too. Hiller was 3 catches for 46 yards, no TD. For Philip Rivers, he was 35 for 48 for 365 yards, 2 TDs in the game. Irvin Gordon, 15 carries for 42 yards. Antonio Gates getting his 100th touchdown reception. He had 9 catches for 92 yards, 2 TDs in the game, so he has number 100 and number 101. Congratulations to him in his career, coming back from the drug allegations, and so much so he was suspended for 4 games, comes back, gets the 100th and the 101st of his career. But of course, in overtime, no overtime needed, the Le'Veon Bell, the game winner in the fourth quarter. So now week 5 has completed. We now head to week 6 of the NFL season this upcoming week, starting off with Thursday Night Football as the 5-0 Atlanta Falcons take on the 1-4 New Orleans Saints at the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Sunday games will be Washington in New York, the Jets. The Steelers are home to host the Arizona Cardinals. Kansas City on the road to take on the Vikings. The Bungles take on the Bills at 1 o'clock. Broncos 5-0 take on the Cleveland Browns. We'll preview that game on Thursday's edition of All Andy Alfred. Remember, Friday, no show on Friday, of course, because of the fact that we will be in Columbus for the Blue Jacket game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Speaking of another horrible team that hasn't gotten a win yet, the Detroit Lions. They're 0-5. They'll take on the Chicago Bears, who are 2-3 at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Texans 1-4, taking on against the Jaguars, who are 1-4. The Dolphins 1-3, taking on the Titans, who are 0-3. Panthers, coming off of the bye, are 4-0. They'll take on the Seahawks at 4:05. The Chargers are on the road to take on the Packers at 4:25. The Ravens take on the 49ers at 4:25. The 8 o'clock game on NBC, the Patriots taking on the Colts. And the Monday night game will be the New York Football Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football next week. But we all starts on Thursday with the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints on NFL Network and on CBS. Looking at the standings going in, the byes this week are the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Rams, and the Bucks. So that is your that is your schedule for games this upcoming Sunday. Looking at the standings so far in the NFL, going into Week 6 this week, here's what the standings look like, and we'll also describe what the playoff picture would like if the season ended today. We haven't decided yet because it's a 16-week season. The Patriots are 4-0 in the AFC East. The Jets are 3-1. The Bills are 3-2. The Dolphins are 1-3. In the North, the Bengals are 5-0. The Steelers are 3-2. The Browns are in third place with a record of 2-3, and the Baltimore Ravens are 1-4. In the AFC South, the Colts are 3-2. The Titans are 1-3. Houston and Jacksonville tied for last place at 1-4. And in the West, it's the Broncos 5-0, Oakland 2-3, San Diego 2-3, and the Chiefs are 1-4. In the NFC, it's the Giants 3-2, the Cowboys 2-3, the Redskins 2-3, and the Philadelphia Eagles 2-3. In the AFC North, it is the Green Bay Packers at 5-0, the Minnesota Vikings 2-2, the Bears 2-3, and the Detroit Lions 0-5. Have not gotten a win yet. They are the only team left in all of the NFL without a win. Atlanta 5-0, Carolina 4-0, Tampa Bay 2-3, and New Orleans is 1-4. Arizona 4-1, the St. Louis Rams are 2-3, Seattle 2-3, and San Francisco is 1-4. So those are your standings in the NFL. Getting ready for Thursday Night Football between the Falcons and the Saints. So let's talk a little bit about the NHL, of course. The NHL in action tonight. There will be a slate of games, but last night in the NHL, we had two other games. We had a full slate. We had 5 games on the docket yesterday. Tampa Bay wins over Boston, 6-3. Winnipeg loses to the Islanders 4-2. The Jackets yesterday losing a heartbreaker 4-2 to the Buffalo Sabres. We talked about that. It drove me to drink yesterday. And by the way, I have a comment. Nick DeVera, our good friend, made a comment on the show saying that the bottle back there was ginger ale. I am shocked. No, it wasn't. It is scotch. It's scotch. It was scotch. And I added a little bit of water to it. Make it not as strong. The Flyers getting a 1-0 win. Braden Shen getting his second of the year. And he scored in the first, and that was the only scoring in that game. Florida loses 1-0. And then in Anaheim, in a shootout, the Vancouver Canucks win 2-1 over the Anaheim Ducks. Adam Krankel, the game-tying goal in the second period. Sammy Benton, his first for the Anaheim Ducks this year. It was Anaheim's goal scorers in the shootout was Jakob Sufberg, Rata Venata for the Vancouver Canucks, and Alexandre Barros for the Vancouver Canucks. Ryan Miller gets the win. Johnson gets the loss in that game. Tonight on the docket in the NHL, a full slate of games, including tonight at 7:30 on NBCSN as the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Detroit Red Wings. Tonight, 7:30 on NBCSN. But at 7 o'clock tonight, it will be the Nashville Predators taking on the New Jersey Devils. 7 o'clock drop seats, the Winnipeg Jets take on the New York Rangers. It's the home opener for the Pittsburgh Penguins as the Penguins take on the Montreal Canadiens. The Penguins 0-2 to start the season off. Montreal perfect 3-0. San Jose is in Washington tonight. That's a 7 o'clock drop. Florida is in Carolina. That's a 7 o'clock drop for that one. At 8:30 tonight, Dallas is hosting the Edmonton Oilers. 9 o'clock sees the St. Louis Blues taking on the Calgary Flames. And at 10:30 will be the Vancouver Canucks in LA to take on the LA Kings. On tomorrow's docket in the NHL, a full slate of 4 games in the NHL tomorrow. Ottawa is in Columbus. The Jackets trying to get their first win of the year. That's a 7 o'clock drop at 200 West Nationwide Boulevard. 200 West McCarthy Boulevard, because Paul McCartney is in Columbus this evening. And they changed Nationwide Boulevard to McCarthy Boulevard. So for this event tonight, they'll go back to Nationwide Boulevard by tomorrow for the game. Tomorrow night, at Wednesday night rivalry, it will be the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Philadelphia Flyers. 10 o'clock sees the Boston Bruins taking on the Colorado Avalanche, and the Anaheim Ducks take on the Arizona Coyotes at 10:30. So the Jackets will get into action tomorrow night. Looking at the standings going into tonight's play, here's what the division standings look like in the Metropolitan Division. In first place is the New York Rangers with a perfect record of 3-0. The Islanders 1-1-1 with 3 points. The Flyers 1-1-1 with 3 points. The Washington 1-0-0 with 2 points. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the New Jersey Devils, and our Columbus Blue Jackets with 0 points. The Jackets 0-3. The other 3 teams in front of them 0-2. In the Atlantic Division, the Tampa Bay Lightning are a perfect 3-0. Montreal 3-0. They're both having 6 points. Detroit is 2-0 with 4 points. Ottawa 2-1 with 4 points. The Florida Panthers are 1-1-0 with 2 points. Buffalo is 1-2 with 2 points. Toronto is 0-2-1 with 1 point, and the Boston Bruins are 0-3 to start the season off tonight. So, I had this piece come up, and I retweeted it. You can follow me on Twitter. It is at All Andy Alfred. It is at All Andy Alfred. We had this piece come along on my Twitter feed. It was recorded from the HockeyWriters.com, and it is talking about the Blue Jackets. And the Blue Jackets, this is from Mark Slegg from the Columbus Blue Jacket column from him. He wrote this column piece from the is a column that explores the world of the Columbus Blue Jackets and offers strong insight into the team and what to watch out for. Have a strong take or share? You can follow him on Twitter at capital THW Mark. That he has the simple solutions for the Blue Jackets way. Number 1, take 1, put Cam Atkinson in the top 6. I agree with this on this one. And this is for him. When perceived in the depth through many thoughts the Blue Jackets had, seeing Cam Atkinson on the third line excites fans. To have a potential 20-goal scorer on the wing with an up-and-coming center, Alexander Wennberg, and solid winger, Scott Hartnell, looks nice on paper. The team starts the season with Rene Bourque on the second line. It's time to experiment to the end. Although Bourque has played okay for the first couple of games this season, he has made some costly mistakes. Monday, against Buffalo, Bourque took 2 offensive zone penalties, the second one leading to a Buffalo 4th goal and putting the game out of reach. Bourque played just 3 shifts in the third period. Head coach Todd Richards then switched the lines, put Atkinson with Doobie on the second line. This made sense, putting a goal scorer like Atkinson in the top 6. Whether it's with Doobie or Ryan Johansson, Atkinson is established comfort level with either center. If Richards decides to juggle the lines for Wednesday's game against Ottawa, the first move he should make is to take Atkinson off the third line. Totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Move Atkinson, solid player. Move him up into line 2 with the goal scorers. Bourque is not a good goal scorer. Plain and simple. Second move for him, and this is one that got me a little interesting, taking Cody Golovov, giving Cody Golovov a chance. Golovov starts the season with the Blue Jackets' 7th defenseman. In his limited time in the league, he has played a steady game. He is also one of the best defensemen on the Blue Jackets in terms of puck possession, yet he hasn't been able to get in a game yet. His time needs to start this Wednesday. 2 defensemen who start off slow this season are Fedor Tutin and Kevin Connauton. Yet Connauton has not gotten off to the start that most Jacket fans, including myself, believe that he should be on. And it's just the fact that Connauton's got to get going. Tutin, usually known for a steady, stay-at-home defense who rarely makes big mistakes, it was the turnover Saturday night against the Rangers that got New York off and running. Connauton is known for more of his offense. Early on this season, he has struggled reading the plays and leading out of the breakout. He has missed open passes. I agree with that. And has struggled in his offensive zone. The puck ends up in the opposition stick and they chase the game most of the time. Given the struggles on defense, goalie Golovov deserves a second chance to show what he can do. Yes. Totally agree with him on this one. And then the simple one is to keep it simple. Is what Mark said. It's not like the Blue Jackets have played poorly for the entirety of the last 3 games. However, I will make mention of this. 106 minutes and counting going into tomorrow's game. We have not led a game since Friday night against the New York Rangers, which we only led for 1 minute and 18 seconds before 3 goals in 77 seconds. The Blue Jackets aren't far away. A small change here and some better place there, and they will return to the team that we were thinking they become. That said, the next 2 home games against Ottawa and Toronto are big. If they lose them, they fall to 0-5 with the road game on Chicago waiting for them. The season isn't over after 3 games, but it tends to continue. You wonder if Coach Richards' job could soon be in jeopardy. Richards on the hot seat. This early. It's possible. It is possible. I'm not going to call for the guy's job just yet. Remember, we have been close. We were close in game 1 of the season against the Rangers. Got blown out of the water in game 2 of the season against the Rangers. And Buffalo, which just too many penalties, killed us. So it all stems down to tomorrow night against the Ottawa Senators at 200 West Nationwide Boulevard. Clark MacArthur. Oh, God. I can't wait for Bob McKellican to talk about Clark MacArthur. He is one of those guys that just kills the Jackets. Absolutely kills them. He sees them on the schedule and circles them for a breakout game. If you have him on DraftKings, pick him up tomorrow, because he could light the Jackets up again. But the Jackets tomorrow night, 200 West Nationwide Boulevard / McCarthy Boulevard at home tomorrow night. And then Friday they'll take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yours truly will be in attendance at that game. Hope you enjoy our show on Thursday, because Friday no show. We will not be on the air on Saturday, of course, and Sunday night as well too. We'll be back on the air on Monday. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, a special live version of All Andy Alfred right here on Clay Fan 2-3. Hope you can join us for our pregame show for the Columbus Blue Jacket game against the Ottawa Senators on Wednesday night. So the Jackets in action tomorrow night. And speaking of hockey teams, let's talk a little bit about the Toledo Walleye. The Walleye making an announcement today that Jarrett Neiman will be with the club. He was assigned today by the Grand Rapids Griffins. He will be in the lineup this weekend as the Walleye start their season. Tonight, of course, it's a big night for the Walleye as they're having their gala event. As the players will get to know more and more of the city as well too, as this is outside the Huntington Center. Tonight at the Huntington Center is Motley Crue and Alice Cooper. So this event is not happening at the Huntington Center this evening. But it will be interesting to see how they're going to do it. So let's talk a little bit about the Walleye and talk a little bit about their schedule. Of course, if you don't know, we're doing the show from Toledo, Ohio. Toledo is the hockey hotbed of this area. Of course, the Red Wings are right up the road. The Jackets are right down the road. Columbus is down the road. Like I said, the Jackets are down the road in Columbus. And of course, you have Cleveland, the Lake Erie Monsters, who are the new AAA affiliate of the CBJ, of course. And Grand Rapids, you can't count that out. But Bowling Green, the Bowling Green State University Falcons, which, by the way, they're getting action tonight as they take on the Western Michigan Broncos tonight in Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. That game at 7 o'clock start time. You can listen to that game on 88.1 FM WBGU or on BGSUFalcons.com. So let's talk a little bit about the Walleye and the Walleye schedule upcoming for this season. The Walleye this year, pull it up here. Because somebody brought this to my attention. The Walleye do not start at home this upcoming year. Of course, the Walleye will start this weekend on Friday night. They'll start the 16th of October against the Indy Fuel in Indianapolis before heading to Cincinnati to see my good friend Everett Fitzhugh and the Cincinnati Cyclones. I can't wait to hear Everett's voice and as he calls Cyclones hockey. Then the Walleye play Kalamazoo on the 23rd, Evansville on the 24th before they head across the border to play the Brampton, Ontario Beasts on the 30th. And then also on November 1st at 2 o'clock. Then they head to Cincinnati on Wednesday. That's a 7:35 face-off before they take on Fort Wayne on the 6th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games into the season before the Walleye have their home opener. The Walleye home opener is, of course, November 7th, 2015, as they take on the Adirondack Thunder. That's a 7:15 face-off for that one before they hit the road to take on Manchester, the Manchester Monarchs. That's a 3-game series for them, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, before returning home on the 19th. That's a 10:35 start time Thursday morning, November 19th, before they go to Brampton and come back home to take on the Fort Wayne Comets. Some key games to look out for this upcoming year. Brampton comes to the Huntington Center on the 27th of November. That's a 7:15 face-off. That's the first trip for Brampton to the Huntington Center. Also, Manchester comes in their one visit of the year on December 19th. They'll take on the Toledo Walleye. In January, the Utah Grizzlies play 3 games at the Huntington Center, January 22nd through the 24th, before they return before the Walleye. The Walleye have a long homestand in January. They have the 15th, the 16th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. The 31st sees the Quad City Mallards come to town at a 5:15 start time on Sunday afternoon, before the Walleye hit the road to take on Kalamazoo for 2 games, February 5th and 7th. Looking at this also, the Colorado Eagles come to Huntington Center the 17th of February. I like to see that. And Greenville will be in town on the 27th of February for that. And then we get into March. March is a road-heavy schedule like it is in October. It is going to be Brampton, Evansville, Norfolk. The Norfolk Admirals, who are new to the East Coast League, will be in town March 12th before they leave, and Kalamazoo will come in on the 13th. And then in April, Manchester comes to town on March the 1st, and April 8th, the Walleye and the Walleye and the Mudhen opener. April 8th, Kalamazoo takes on the Walleye, and the Mudhens take on the Louisville Bats. So plan that one out for you. Tickets are available by calling 419-725-WALL or 419-725-9255. All 72 home and away games will be on Fox Sports Radio 1230, and also be on webcasts on ToledoWalleye.com, and all 36 home games will be on Buckeye Cable Sports Network. Tickets range for the home opener starting on the 7th. They're going to start off at $20, and then after that, it'll be $17 a piece. By the way, I will make mention of this right off the bat. For the price of a Walleye game, for 2, it's going to be $34. $25. It's $25 cash. All right? They'll get, or $20. Get you a full tank of gas if you have it. If you have a good fuel efficient car. $20, and then $10 per person. Go to Cleveland to see the Lake Erie Monsters play whoever, Fridays and Saturday nights. And the food prices there on Friday nights are $1 hot dog, $2 soda, $3 beer. I like to see Napoli compete with that. You'll never compete with that. Special events for the Walleye this upcoming year. I like this one. The Mini Mite and Mini Jamboree on the 23rd and 24th. Also got to pass this one along too. We got this one that came into November 21st. It will be Celebrate 8-Bit Night for the Walleye. The Walleye will be paid tribute to Nintendo's 30th anniversary with a special theme night. The Walleye will wear 8-bit video game inspired jerseys with certain Plumber and a spiky shell Nemesis. Of course, that means Bowser will be wearing the visitors' gloves, and Mario will be wearing the Walleye, of course. But the one big promotion night I want to make mention of this November 7th is the 2015-16 Spanner season. Also, you also have the Teddy Bear Toss on December 11th. Star Trek versus Star Wars night, December 19th. The 26th is Winterfest 419 for the Walleye. Superhero Villain night, January 2nd. The Bobblehead series will begin January 15th, but 23rd of January, get ready for this, folks. It will be Don Cherry Jersey night. You don't know who Don Cherry is? Type in on Netflix, Don Cherry, or type it on YouTube. I mean, you're watching me on YouTube. Type it in and see who Don Cherry is. Absolutely hilarious. One of the best hockey analysts in all of sports, and they're going to have a special jersey theme night. That night is the 23rd of January. That night they play the Utah Grizzlies. The Utah Grizzlies that night. And that's a pivotal 3-game series, the 22nd, the 23rd, and the 24th. 23rd, Don Cherry night. I hope Don Cherry is there. What I'm hearing from some of the Walleye people is that Don Cherry, they're trying to get him to make an appearance. But of course, Saturday night is Coach's Corner night on Hockey Night in Canada. So let's take a look at some of the NBA. And last night, also, as you're watching All Andy Alfred right here on your exclusive home for me, a production of ClayFan23. I'm your host, Andy Alfred, of course. And today's show is, as always, brought to you in part by Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's office in Rossford, Ohio. Oh, Dr. Z knows how to fix teeth right. With passion comes great responsibility. Dentistry is key in everything. By the way, aren't you aware that when you brush your teeth, you're actually brushing your skeleton? Because teeth are your bones. Unbelievable. Can't believe I found that out, and I was shocked. I was shocked a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. Dr. Zuhari and Fisher, they are top of the line in dentistry. Whether you need Invisalign, you need a crown, if you need dentures, if you need wisdom teeth, he does that as well too. Cavities filled as well as cleanings. Set an appointment today by calling his phone number 419-666-3327 or visit Dr. Zuhari and Fisher's website, drzuhariandfisher.org. They have fixed my smile. Fix yours in a much quicker time. Looking at the NBA last night, the Cavs took on the Memphis Grizzlies at Value City Arena and lost 91-81. They are now 0-3 in the preseason. The Knicks were a winner 94-88 over the 76ers. The Heat a 97-94 win over the San Antonio Spurs. The Raptors a 112-105 victory over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Pelicans beat up on the Chicago Bulls 123-115, and the Trailblazers an 88-81 victory over the Utah Jazz. Tonight on the docket in the NBA, it is the Cavs taking on they are taking on the Milwaukee Bucks. That game at 7 o'clock tip at the Q tonight. You can watch that game on Fox Sports Ohio. As that game getting ready to tip up here in a moment. The Heat are in Orlando to take on the Magic. The Pistons are in Indiana to take on the Pacers at 7 o'clock. 8 o'clock tip sees the Dallas Mavericks taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the 10 o'clock tips, the Golden State Warriors will take on the Denver Nuggets. The Phoenix Suns take on the Houston Rockets. And the LA Lakers will take on the Sacramento Kings. Looking at the Major League Baseball season, the playoff season, and oh, buddy, all the Cardinals are on the ropes. The Cubs win! 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 The Cubbies 8-5 victory over the St. Louis Cardinals yesterday. Waka gets the loss. He goes to 0-1 with an 8.31 ERA. Jake Arrieta 1-0 with a 6.35 ERA. Bryant, Rizzo, Soler, Fowler, Schwarber, and Castillo, 6 home runs. The first time in Major League Baseball history in a division series game. 6 home runs hit by one team. Piscotty, his second. Hayward, his first for the St. Louis Cardinals. And then the Mets. The Mets destroying the Dodgers last night, 13-7. Harvey 1-0 with a 3.67 ERA. Anderson with the loss. He goes to 0-1 with an 18 ERA. Kendrick homered. Gonzalez his first. DeGrom his first. And Yoenis Cespedes his second. Today on the docket, the Cubs are going to try to break out and beat the St. Louis Cardinals. And we're doing the show around 7 o'clock. It is now the bottom of the 7th. The Cubs are up 6-4 on the St. Louis Cardinals. That's in the bottom of the 7th inning. Of course, the Cubbies trying to save and win the game to beat the Cardinals and move on to the next round to either play the Mets or the Dodgers. And speaking of that game at 8 o'clock tonight, Clayton Kershaw trying to get the Dodgers back into the swing of things, 16-7 with a 2.13 ERA versus Mraz, who's 4-0 with a 2.27 ERA, 8 o'clock start time. That game, if the Cub game runs behind, will be on TNT. And then the Cub game if the Cub game is done, that game will be switched over back to TBS. So we are in the bottom of the 7th. The Cubbies up 6-4 on the St. Louis Cardinals. Tomorrow on the docket, 4 o'clock start, it will be Texas versus Toronto. That's Hamels, 13-8 with a 3.65 ERA, taking on Stroman, who's 4-0 with a 1.67 ERA. We will be on the air at 4 o'clock on All Andy Alfred for the live show. We will not be able to preview that game, of course, because we're going to be on the air. But at 8 o'clock tomorrow night, it will be do or die Game 5. McHugh for the Houston Astros. He's 9-7 with a 3.89 ERA versus Johnny Cueto. We'll preview that game. Cueto 11-13 with a 3.44 ERA in that one. Game 5, if necessary, will be on Thursday for the Cubs. If the Cubs seem to blow it, they'll take on the Cardinals. And then at 8 o'clock, it will be the Mets taking on the Dodgers. If it goes to a Game 5, the Mets will throw up Jason DeGrom, who's 14-8 with a 2.54 ERA. The Dodgers have not yet named starters. Neither have the Cubs or the Cardinals. That's bearing if we get to a Game 5 for that game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, as we are now headed into the Libby Factory Outlet, setting your table for tonight's sports action. Tonight at 7:30 on NBCSN, the Tampa Bay Lightning take on the Detroit Red Wings. That is the game, one of the big key games to look out for. And also tonight, the Dodgers take on the New York Mets. That's a 8 o'clock first pitch at Citi Field. So that's going to wrap it up for All Andy Alfred today. I'm going to be tuning in to watch the rest of this Cub game, of course. And the Cubs looking to prove on and move on to the NLCS to either take on the Dodgers or the Mets. Or we'll see if the Cardinals can come back and force a Game 5 tomorrow night. I'm Andy Alfred. I hope you enjoyed this program. However you're watching us, whenever you're watching us. Thank you for tuning into the program today. Follow me on Twitter. It is at All Andy Alfred. It is at All Andy Alfred. Tomorrow, live edition of our program, 4 o'clock, 4 to 6. We want you to be a part of the show. Follow us on Twitter and use the hashtag AAALive. That's AAALive. 4 to 6 tomorrow on All Andy Alfred right here. You can follow us, find the link right here on our YouTube page. Thank you for tuning into the program today. And as always, go Jackets! Get back on the winning page. Let's go Walleye! Take on Indianapolis this weekend. Let's go Lions. Gotta get a win against the Bears. Go Browns. Good luck against the Broncos. And go Cavs tonight. Try to get back into the winning page. And go Cubs! Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Until tomorrow, when we do our live show at 4 o'clock, I am Andy Alfred, telling you, as always, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together. Game of life. And to the teams behind me and to your team that you root for at home. The victory is sweetest when you have tasted defeat. And I've tasted defeat a lot this past couple days. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. I love you guys. Talk to you guys tomorrow for a live edition of All Andy Alfred. Love you, babe. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Baseball season's underway. Well, you better get ready for a brand new day. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. They're singing, go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey, Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today. Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go!
Cubs win! Cubs win!